if you look at your catalog of songs, and you've had a lot of hits, and then you've got some songs in your catalog that are deep tracks that I absolutely love as well. But when you think about it, I would think most people would look at "Are You Gonna Go My Way" if they only casually know Lenny Kravitz as the song they know, as the song in your history to this point. When you and Craig wrote that song, even that riff, which is becomes so iconic. Did you know when you write? Dude, do you know you're making something?
Had no idea.
No idea what's going to jump out.
That song was cut in 5 minutes. We were getting to the end of a session, and we came up with this thing. At that time, even on my third album, I still wasn't booking out studios 24 hours yet. The next client was waiting to get in to their session, which would start like at 3 o'clock. I used to go to the studio at 9 a.m., dude, because there was
cheaper.
There was cheaper. There was an opening. It was a thing, and
so you weren't in the lockout phase at that point.
Not yet. Not yet. And I was like, when am I going to be able to just have the studio to myself, keep the board, because this is pre-Pro Tools and all that. So you'd have a song up, and now you're loving the mix. You're loving how it's sounding. You got to take it down, come back tomorrow, start over again. But anyway, the next client was coming in. We came up with this thing, put it down in 5 minutes, and went home with this track with no words, no melody. I played it over and over and over the entire night on my boombox at home. Wrote it down on a.
Who had the riff? Was the riff there yet? The open?
No, the riff was there. The whole song was cut. Okay. There was just no vocal and no melody. No lyric.
Right.
So that night I write it. I go back in the next morning. I sing the thing. I had no idea what that was going to be. I thought this is so foreign to what's going on the radio, and I don't know. There were things in one speaker. There was all this phasing at one point. The whole track phases.
Right, there's a phase.
The
of
whole
panning
track,
and,
everything, drums, bass, guitar. The whole thing phases. Things were out of phase. I remember when it first came on MTV. There was actually we had to fix the mix because there was music not coming out of the speakers. It was like they were canceling each other out. And when we started to work that song, it took a long time for radio, for MTV. It took a long time, but I believe that video had a lot to do with it as well. I met Mark Romanek, the director of that video, who
really cool stuff.
It was just a simple video, but it was so effective.
Yeah. And
the visual and the whole thing, and it all helped. But then once it got over, that was it. It was like never went away. But it was a thing.
So to this day,
I don't know hit songs. To answer your question,
do you know? Do you know when you write something what's going to be?
I know when I write something that I like, and I go, well, that's a hit to me.
Right.
But a hit to me, I don't know if that's a hit to other people. It's interesting. I think the only time I ever knew I had a hit was when I wrote again for the greatest hits.
It's funny you bring that up. I wanted to ask you about that because I love that song. And when that came out as the bonus track on the greatest hits record,
I
said to myself, was this something he passed on and didn't put on a record? Because this is a smash.
They called me, the Nancy Berry, who was running the label. She called me. She says, we're gonna do a greatest hits album. First of all, I thought it was greatest hits. I've only made a few albums.
Am I done? You dropping me?
No, greatest hits, already? You're supposed to be old when you do that. But she's like, no, it's time for greatest hits. She goes, but we need one song, and we want it to be a mid-tempo ballad. That's what we. So I'd never done that thing before, where somebody said, this is what we want, and you got to deliver it on this thing. Never. But I had this challenge, and I had a month to do it, and came up with that song, crafted it, worked on it. Really had a direction for that. And when it was done, I was like, okay, that's a hit. That's a hit.